Terima kasih sudah klik video ini. Jangan lupa tekan tombol like, tekan subscribe, dan nyalakan tombol notifikasinya. Selamat menonton!
But they couldn't even get an early with an Eve. So let's see if Onic Philippines now, with them on the red side, if they're willing to change things up. Matilda, Fanny, Jushin are some of the most go-to bans on red. If they take out one of those and replace those bans, then we're sensing that they're actually trying to manipulate the draft in some way.
You know what?
There.
Renmar, coming from last week's matches, it's from red side that Onic PH were able to actually pull through with one of the menaces of the current meta, Zushin. So if the Monster Mage can somehow end up with a Zushin again coming from red, Team Falcons, you gotta have to figure that out. It looks like that's what Coach Tony and Coach Hayes are looking to brew up.
Ooh, Team Falcons now, again, a lot, because of the Kalea ban, a lot can be opened again. I would secure a Granger again for Super Marco, considering the fact that they also take out the Moskov. So now, if Onic bans out Jushin, or they don't, you know Super Friend's gonna get that.
Yeah. Since Falcons also banned out the low Yi, we're going to be seeing different red side bans here. With Suyo, they might be willing to... Are they gonna... Do they want to contest the Joy or give the Joy?
And the Fanny's still out there.
Yeah, and the Fanny's also still out there. So we might see a rush Fanny pickup, but then Onic will have to think, okay, do we rush pick the Cho or Jawhead, pick off style heroes?
Oh!
Or, they actually take out the Phoveus. So yeah, they want to say, okay, Falcons, go ahead, pick up the Fanny. We'll go prioritize pick off, because now we don't have to worry about a Phoveus in the mix because we took it out. Good red side banning here by Onic, willing to play into the Fanny. Let's see if it will go well for them though.
Sir, what's your command?
All right.
Okay.
Going forward so far with the aforementioned path. The Fanny, still currently at 100% contest rate, showed up whether a ban or a pick, and it looks like the Beast has it coming. He's expected this. Now do they go for the Jushin? This is where you do it, right? In the first two.
Granger, Jushin.
There were times though where we see Jushin actually come in the second phase, actually make it pass through like the second phase of banning as well. Because with the Jushin on the other side, you're gonna have to think, if I want to play a Jushin into that. That's why they might be taking their time thinking about it. I would recommend Cho getting rushed already. There it is.
So there's an answer to the Fanny. Is that enough? Putting it in the hands of the Bruiser. And they get both.
Okay, so they decide, you know what, I'm the Monster Mage for a reason. I am willing to play the Jushin into the Fanny. So for Falcons, they can still actually go for an earlier glue pickup, but I want them to leverage the gold lane pick already, so that they don't have to worry about it. Just pick up the Granger, and then if you want to, show your mid as well. Pick up a lineup for a mid to late game spike. Go for Granger Sicilian, because sometimes for Onic, you just have to accept that maybe you can't dance with them in the early. That maybe the best is to just play around mid to late and power spiking there.
Hey, they've gotten a win streak by accepting the fact that they can't play early.
Yeah.
So it's not so bad. They're used to it. Team Falcons get their hands onto the Harith, so that means Onic should be playing the Granger from here on, supplementing it with a Gatotkacha.
Okay, so Onic will you still go for the Joy, and they will do so.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I think they're going to be trading out gold. They're willing to go to the second phase with lesser gold laner hero pool, and I think that's something that Coach Wynot and Coach Hayes have decided that, you know what, it's okay. They can't ban everything out.
Yeah.
If you ban out what? Let's say for Falcons, they take out Granger and a Bruno. You still have like a safe Harith pick, Airthel pickup for you if you want. You can play for a little bit later into the game. You can even go for one of the more unique gold laners, similar to the Matrix that we talked about. So there's always an option now.
Now they take out the Granger. For Onic, they also take out the Cecilia. And one of the things I'm actually looking at for a few is, could Faramis be a viable option right now, considering the fact that it's few?
Let's see if they already show their robe EXP. Then you can decide if you want to pick Faramis. If you go into the second phase, if you go into blue 4-5, with only seeing Keller's pick and you don't know where the cho's going fully, then that's when you're a little bit slower to decide if the Faramis is worthy or not.
You know, so Onic takes out the Badang again. They're gonna take out the high loss, safe pick. That could actually deal well against Fanny. So now Onic still don't know where the Cho is gonna go. But Otkacha taken out also by Team Falcons. So you're left with XP, Glue, Edith,
Edith available, CC, Carry.
Lucas.
I am still a Lucas hater. You know, that's where I'm
Even
gonna
at the
go.
XP lane?
Overrated.
Okay.
Overrated in the EXP. So far, only Demon Cat has only made the Lucas work. And ever since the patch, teams have decided Lucas XP not that worth it anymore. The numbers have considerably gone down for him. If it shows up here, then you put the Gata Kacha Rome and the Joy, then you go for CC if you're Falcons.
Lucas is a super matchup dependent hero, and it looks like Onic first picked Keller's hero. So yeah, they're gonna definitely hide where that Cho goes.
Finally, a second time, Beatrix has been selected in the hands of the god in the gold lane.
That's a signature pick right there.
Yep.
That's why they call him the Filipino Savage. No, remember when he did it in Season 9?
Season 9.
On the Haji's unexpected Farsa?
Yeah,
he was waiting for it to land.
Yeah, flew out of the map. It was in the top side, close to the inhibitor turret area. And then he landed, bam, he got sniped down. So yeah, now you're really thinking of, you need reach, just go Farsa, honestly. And just have an EXP laner that can protect because you put that Gata Kacha in the roam.
Farsa again, gets sniped again.
Just hopefully you don't get sniped.
Doesn't want it, picks up an Aurora into the hands of Few and pops a Khalid into Master Ogwins. Again, oh no, again!
I really thought that Khalid was gonna, Gata Kacha was going in the roam because you need that taunt to help control the Joy. And let's see if the Khalid will be enough to help out the Aurora. But then maybe because of the pass of the Aurora, King Kong will think twice about diving him, or when he dives him, he's just gonna pop the passive and not get a kill. Maybe they're playing around that thought. Here, they don't need any more sustained magic damage. You just go for physical back again. You know what? As much as I am a hater of the Lucas, I thought he would go Lucas. Okay, Hilda's okay too. Next best thing.
Okay, definitely someone you just throw at Kyle Teasy and slow down the snowball of a Fanny, which he definitely needs. Onic PH again. Toe-to-toe, pound for pound. Great draft from red or blue.
Same concept of what happened during game number 1 was that Onic Philippines was able to dominate the mid lane. That's why they were able to invade right away onto Kyle TZ's Joy. If Kirk manages to pull it off again alongside Super Fam, it's going to be a hard game for Kyle TZ.
Okay, early to mid-game potential, leading a little bit more red side here. This game is so dependent on two people for Falcons, Kyle and Ogwin, that it's going to be so demanding for them to keep this game close. If they don't win the early game, they have to keep it close. Because again, if they slip, like in game number 1, it's just going to be a fast ride yet again for the Super Fam.
Here we go, game number 2. Once again, match point for Onic PH. Team Falcons PH looking to take us all the way. It starts here. Keep an eye out on that Fanny, Kyle TZ. Rarely do anybody actually get their hands on a Fanny here in Season 15, but the draft from Blue here, let's see if this gambit pays off.
Again, it takes guts to actually give Kyle TZ one of his signatures, the Fanny, but if Onic, they're the few teams who can actually pull it off. Again, they're one win away from securing a playoff spot in S15.
All right, so it was an orange start for the Fanny. Lower side clear into the orange. In terms of the emblems, basic common for Super Friends. Keller is actually rocking Master Assassin for better dueling against the Harith.
And that might be a lane that they win as well, because look down bottom, Kirk is just bullying Flapteezy down to about a fourth of his health.
Yeah, he can actually do it, or even force out the Revitalize early on, but now Kyle TZ spots out King Kong. King Kong already level 4.
The struggles of a Gata Kacha EXP against a Hilda. Early on items, it's concealed for Brusco and for Ogwin. Nothing fancy. Rushing on the items for both. No shoes for either gold laners who want to play around their dashes instead.
Oh, Kyle Teasy!
Oh, fortunately he was able to steal Cable out. He was up against 3. But again, he's still level 3. Oh, you know that Kyle Teasy's jungling pattern has been disrupted because King Kong's going to have an easy time later on in neutral objectives.
Ian disrupted is a understatement. The flicker from Super Prince.
Oh, he was able to mistake once again. Here comes the Lantern Flare, forcing out Fuse Flicker also. And now they're putting a lot of emphasis onto the middle lane to have perfect control over the center of the map.
All right, so no deaths yet. Looking good for Falcons right now in terms of ticking their condition, but Kirk is now disrupting Kyle TZ. Great invade by the Hilda. Ooh, what a knockup by Brusco.
Oh, Kirk, one more hit onto Few. They're starting the invade already, and the first blood drawn onto Ogwin. The answer out with the ult coming in from Few, but Kirk literally was able to run away.
The sprint, helping him get to that bush, get extra shields, get some regen, and keeping up the pressure. Onic PH gets a free turtle because of how much of a presence they were in the jungle.
And now they're not even done. They want to go for more at the orange buff. Fortunately, Ogwin and Flap is here to save the day as Kyle TZ works on the purple buff. And this is what Renmar has been saying all along. The early game is going to be crucial for Ogwin and Kyle TZ. And they're the ones having trouble because Ogwin's not even level 4 yet.
Yep. So tough for the Khalid. You really have to make the most out of your Desert Tornado so that you don't get tossed up by the Lantern of the Juicin. And so far, Falcons' losses are quite minimized. Funnily enough, they could have been worse at this point. 3 minutes in, could have been 3 or 4 deaths already on their board. But so far, they've minimized it to 1. And Kyle TZ is still getting some farm across the board. While, of course, since they are not struggling and they are the ones invading, setting the tempo, King Kong is having a good time in the jungle right now.
Basically, in other words, Green Falcons should be thankful because their team is not losing as fast, but it is bad.
Yeah.
Onic PH is approaching the 2K gold lead, and look, a gold lead across the board. Super Marco seems to be the only holdout. He's like, what, 100, 200 away from Cara.
Yeah, but the problem is, even during game number 1, wherein, oh, wait a minute, they're trying to go for Super Prince.
Whoop.
Is the damage going to be there, though? Forced out already the Raging Sandstorm for Ogwin. That's crucial.
You were saying about game 1.
Again, even if Super Marco was having a good time up against Kelra, even leading in terms of economy up the early game, if they don't manage to minimize the overall lead that Onic has been doing, but Kyle TZ already works on Kelra with a kill.
Ingan, you're forgetting it's a team game. It's not just Marco versus Cara. Kyle TZ, an opportunist finding his mark.
Yep, that's why we said it's important that Kyle and Ogwin set the tempo. Kyle has done it, but Ogwin gets kicked.
This might be the punish they're trying to look for.
Flicker.
Ogwin is able to flicker out. One more hit, even used up the revitalize. But here comes the heals coming in from Ogwin. Was able to out-sustain King Kong. A huge clutch play from the master himself.
Sand is known to stop currency of lightning running through. Perfect science in play for game 2 here.
Yeah, and the best part was they were also able to block out Kelra's Renner. So no casualties for Falcons and a good turtle take from Kyle TZ.
Okay, Onic still going forward though. They don't want to let this go. They're angry.
Okay, trying to work on Ogwin.
They let
But
go.
Oh,
What a flicker!
good flicker, was able to size up Brusco. Now they're trying to go for him once again. Kyle TZ enters the picture. Here comes the cables. Super Prince with a Crimson Beacon out. That's Flap TZ. Cast his Revitalize.
They are a turtle apiece, and they have managed to shrink that gold lead down in half. Just 1,000 ahead now. Onic PH is Falcons. Wow, what a recovery.
Yeah, and they have to keep this up. Things like that. Play around Kyle TZ getting a pick. Once Kyle TZ gets a pick, there is an opening somewhere. Be proactive in finding it. And even though Ogwin's been getting poked down, blasted, forced to use a lot of the healing that he needs to keep himself alive, he's not afraid to hold back, to go forward and say, I will get this info, I will find an opening. And he needs to keep this up, except that he will be the literal sandbag.
Yeah, this was also considering the fact that he already used up the Raging Sandstorm prior to that initiation, so he was down a resource. But with the flicker, was still able to make a huge play for the Green Falcons.
Another turtle coming up in about 45 seconds from now, and Onic PH are looking for another aggressive angle. We need to watch what Ogwin is willing to do here. He's got a flicker coming up for this next engagement. Still magical what he's done. He literally chose the best time to force an answer from Onic, and now it looks like Falcons are the aggressors.
They instead went for the beast himself, paired up with a sandstorm from Ogwen. They're making things work from Green Falcons. And Renmar, what you actually said is working. Ogwen and Kyle TZ again, the connection is there.
I'm just doing my job. I mean, come on. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm here for.
Super Frizz in trouble?
One more hit. Who's gonna get the kill? It's gonna go on to Penentuan.
That is Falcons now in the driver's seat, and Brusco holding this brush here, getting out of dodge. This is looking like a turtle with Falcon's name on it.
I just love what Kyle TZ and Ogwen went with. There was a clear target and Super Friends onto the middle lane, but they spotted out King Kong, went for a greater fish instead, and that resulted to an uncontested turtle take once again.
All the more, it looks like we're going to game 3 as King Kong gets bullied out of his disruptive rotations, and Falcons slowly building up a lead of their own.
It's also really important that the Falcons are minimizing the opportunities for any of them to get picked off by any of the kicks of Brusco. Highlight going back to when Few was able to flick her out of a good kick angle that Brusco already set up, not once, but I believe he was able to do it twice. Oh, and Marco can handle a level 11, almost level 12 Joy by himself. That's not good news for the Super Fam.
And the thing is, even if Few doesn't have his flicker, as long as the passive is active, all the initiations from Brusco can go to waste already.
Hold up, we haven't really been talking about the map. Look at this down bottom. That turret's still standing. I can smell it. Kelra and Kirk have ill intentions. Believe it or not, that is the first push for Onic in this game.
Okay, so this time Kelra's doing a Super Marco play. Just try to go for the turret pushes instead of clashing, because right now they're really outnumbered, outgunned, out-resourced. And now they're going to back on to just split pushing and avoiding those clashes.
Ooh, okay, so the itemization for Kelra here, he went for BOD full build, and then Fury Hammer BOD now went into the Malefic gun. So he has a little bit more reach to work with, and even more so now Falcons really have to time their dives well so that they'll be able to reach and deal damage to Kelra. I believe they might be going for an attack speed type of Beatrix. Let's see with the third item, because this is what I've been looking for, the attack speed Bea just using the rocket launcher.
It's going to be a thorn in the neck for the Green Falcons eventually, but look at Kyle TZ's positioning. He can literally go straight for the kill, just waiting for his prey, but he's going to work on the bottom lane instead.
Yeah, good presence by Brusco to actually make sure Kelra's just safe. He's going around with his gold laner so that if ever the Fanny decides to go in, there's a simple kick away and Kelra will be fine.
Lord spawns in the opposite side of the map. That means Brusco and Kelra have to move up and maybe contest. They are in contest range, folks. It's just that the map, they need to make it work a little closer to theirs. Ogwen makes contact with Kirk and Super Friends. We really haven't been feeling the Monster Mage just yet. Hasn't found any amazing Crimson Beacons, no?
Yeah. He'll be able to use it when it's a full dive by Falcons. That would be the best bet. To hopefully be able to deal damage while also getting those marks in so that you can get more crowd control to disrupt their team fighting, to set things up for Kelra. So if Falcons don't time their dive well enough, they could get punished.
Here comes a kick flicker onto Master Ogwen, plus the ult coming in from Kelra. They were able to pick up one. Kyle TZ working on Super Fritz. He was able to Crimson Beacon out. No casualties yet for Onic Philippines. This might be the go signal to get that Lord.
Asking you shall receive, defensively used, and now they make a beeline for the Lord!
Beeline onto Flap TZ first as they take down the Filipino cannon. Marco working on 4, but Onic scatters away scot-free once again. Kyle TZ working on Kirk. Here's the cutthroat and the shutdown for Kyle TZ.
Falcons, I thought they were slipping on the discipline. It looked like they were, but then they were able to counter back with aggression from Super Marco and Kyle TZ so that Onic Philippines will not be able to position and even play for the Lord. Now it's a little bit more even for this Lord 1 dance.
Yep, at 4 and 3, Onic were just building up, and then suddenly Falcons deny him. King Kong get away with about 2.5 HP. Kyle TZ got to back out of there because they're making the Lord start it up. They're dancing around it. Big presence from Falcons.
Ogwen has good information on where Onic Philippines is hiding. No contest might happen here actually, and Kyle Teasy will secure it. Onic trying to go for the engage. Here comes the kick onto Flab, gonna bring him down, but Marco working on the beast himself. Oh, they got sandwiched out. Brusco trying to look for Super Marco, but Ogwen was able to zone them out.
The art of the turn. Onic knew they could not contest, so instead they went for a kill. Definitely could have gotten more if only. If only it weren't a matter of range. Cara is the only true range hero that deals this kind of damage for Onic, hence why they can't finish the job.
At the same time, the heal that Ogwen brought down at his feet, again, that has a slow effect. And Onic Philippines, once they knew they were in it, they knew it'd be too risky as the tower was also hitting them. So good zone by Ogwen to keep Super Marco alive in that sequence. But Onic Philippines will be able to rush this Lord without a problem. Falcons are looking to win somewhere, something in the center of the map. Purple buff about to spawn for Onic. With Ogwen there, let's see if Falcons will make a play.
It went from worse to bad for the Super Fam. So they are still in relative control of this game, while Falcons are looking to run and gun, move around. They're in better shape than they ever have been in this series. And they spot out Kirk. We're looking for Kirk's next big play. He really hasn't been doing as much as he was in the early.
Okay, Brusco charging up his Jeet Kune Do. He has a flicker here. So they're gonna try and make a play. They're able to still hold on to their mid lane, inhibit their turret, and that's where the trade factor comes in. Again, because Team Falcons, they were able to control that Lord because all their battle spells were up, unlike Onic, who had to use it just to try and bring down Ogwen. And now here comes the kick. They're trying to go on Flap TC, forced out to revitalize already. He missed AOG from the back. Flap TC was able to escape. Now they forced out the Crimson Beacon. Ogwen and View is going to fall down in the hands of the God in the gold lane, plus King Kong. The KK connection picking up 3.
Oh my God, divide and conquer! It's just Marco and Kyle left versus 5 from Onic!
Now they're going to invade onto the purple buff. The sniper is not going to connect as Super Prince working on the mid lane. The tides have turned once again for the Super Fam.
What a team fight for Onic Philippines. They knew they had to split it because if they let Falcons go front to back, it's not going to go well for them. With their resources split up, Onic Philippines were able to win that without a problem.
Rose Gold Meteor on the way for Cara, as King Kong also built his own arsenal. Kyle Teasy is now left to clean up these lanes. They know, Falcons know that their window is up, that the snowball is slowly melting.
Yeah, it's hard. We're gonna see a lot of Kyle TC segues, but that's the beauty of it. Seems like there's not gonna be any lockdown apart from Brusco, and Kyle TC can actually evade that easily. So still, Falcons still holding on.
Short of saying, Falcons is dealing with a mess. Luckily, they have a mop.
Yeah. The thing is with the Falcons lineup, with Onic Philippines already serving at family size, all of them are just together. Kyle Teasy is like, what am I gonna eat, man? I go in and what? Risk getting kicked? All of them are always sticking. But when you find an opening, go ahead and take it. If you find Super Prince or King Kong, just a moment alone, take him down.
He took a big bite of Prince there. But he couldn't finish the job. So that's another half-eaten plate that Falcons have to ring up for their bill. And I'm not so sure they got enough left in the tank to get this done. Get paid, son, and make it to the playoffs because Onic PH are going, looking for that kick. Lord gets secured.
And King Kong once again, they will disengage alongside the conceal. Beautiful engage from Onic.
You see that? Brusco used the kick as a deterrent. It's like, oh, you sure? Huh?
Yeah, I believe as well it looked like Flap Teasy was able to manipulate the angle just a little bit so that he wouldn't get kicked closer to Onic Philippines. But I like that Brusco didn't hesitate to use the conceal to say, guys, let's get out of here.
And also consider the fighting game-like discipline and windows that these players are playing with, because look, there's also a flicker, so Brusco could have also repositioned.
Yeah, lots of very, what do you call this, snappy decision making. Some frames that they're playing around.
He was
put that on a picture frame. That's a low light, unfortunately, for the young phenom.
That was a straight up FPS moment, son.
Here comes the attack. That's why you don't go in head first against the pack, the family of the Super Fam. Lord sieging in onto the top lane. They're going to be able to clear it out unless Brusco manages to find another pickoff. Here comes the ult coming in from Cara. and now they're able to take away Inhibitor. Marco, Super Prince with the fast hand flicker. Keller working on Marco himself. There's minions onto the middle lane, and Falcons will be able to clear it out.
Man, I'm really digging this attack speed Beatrix, and I'm so happy to see it here. It's not the full attack speed that I would usually go for Corrosion side, but it's very deadly because it has Sea Halberd, Haas Claws, and Rose Gold Meteor. A good mix of self-sustain and just chunky damage.
Unexpecting father. NA's very own Herbert Wagner whispered to me once, Leo, I'm gonna call him Machine Gun Kelra!
Now the angle is there for Machine Gun Kelra! Marco just trying to work for a trade. They're going to be able to bring down Kirk, but Mplph is the one to fall.
Oh.
Kyle Teasy trying to escape the 4. King Kong working on Ogwin, and that's 1 member down for the Green Falcons.
It was this moment that Trek saw in his mind when he was making the call. King Kong fights Owen!
No brush is safe if you're in the midst of a great game from the Beast Incarnate.
Onic Philippines. Again, I said it in game 1, they are so back. And they are so aggressive, so decisive. And Falcons have winded themselves out. The lineup that was supposed to find a spike at around 10 to 12 just could not find it, as Onic Philippines were able to find theirs. They are a full dive composition, save for the Aurora. The Aurora supplements the dives that Falcons want to do. But Onic have great toolkits to counter that. The Crimson Beacon of the Juicin, the zoning and the crowd control provided by a Cho. And of course, if Kelra can stay alive and be safe, the damage from Machine Gun Kelra.
Yeah, pretty much maxed out already. Has his DHS. And now they set their eyes on this Lord. A while ago, Team Falcons was just merely trying to get a sniff of the Lord, but Brusca's not afraid to commit the way of the dragon, even if the angle's not there.
Oh, that's dirty. He's a Machine Gun Kelra, yes, but he's playing with Bennett. There's bombs in here. Flap Daisy with the AOG.
Okay, Immortality is going to be popped. They're trying to work.
Oh, they got him.
Marco goes
he
in
lives.
the back, but he lives. Machine Gun Kelra onto Ogwin. Next target is Kyle Teasy getting chased down by King Kong, and Brusco with a kick paired up with the Thunder to finish off the wipeout.
We thought he would peak with Cara the Gold Ring lane, but the Brap Devil with an 8-1-3 performance.
1 more spot secured, and it's none other than the defending world champions, Onic Philippines.
That's a sweep for the Super Fam, scoring 7 points, locking in their ticket to the playoffs.
I'm happy. Finally, attack speed Beatrix. Woo! I preached this, and I'm so happy to see it. And I have learned, because it's not just pure attack speed. The itemization on that Beatrix is so deadly.
All right, Trex, I'm sorry. I wanted you to make the call, but it's been, what, 3 or 4 internationals now, and we're not sure where Keller will be for MSC, so I called it tonight.
Trex, I hope you're watching, though. We're crediting you. And all the Clippers that are going to say,
It was Trex.
It was Trex.
It was Trex, guys.
Machine Gun Kelra.
Congratulations on the new baby, by the way.
Wow. Guys, I just can't believe it. Onic, finally, they're back to their god forms. And what a way to show that by taking down a Titan themselves, Team Falcons.
And it must be frustrating for the Green Falcons, no? Because it's high altitude, low altitude, up and down, up and down. Falcons got to play more games to secure playoffs now.
It's like flights in recent days. It's turbulent right now for the Falcons.
That's scary.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's consistent turbulence. It's not the turbulence that just like knocks you out for a game. It's like you could knock out for like 1 or 2 series, and then you go back up, and then you don't, and which is like it turns into a roller coaster ride. It's not like a smooth flight anymore, and that's not what you paid for. But you see shades on Falcons being able to do things right. They just can't keep it up.
And there is a saying, which might not fully 100% port, but calm seas make weak sailors. So, hey, if the Falcons can run through a few tough skies, you know, running through thunderous ones like what the Super Fam set up for him here, then, you know, that secured playoff spot will be all the more sweeter.
Yeah, and can't forget, even Onic Philippines had a rough patch ahead of them before they went on a 6-game win streak, so it might go well even for Team Falcons after this loss.
Yeah, if the Super Fam can do it, then Who
Why
knows?
can't you?
Falcons can go on a world tour. They still have Mobile Masters
Yeah.
in the horizon. These two teams, actually. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and hear our winner's interview on stage.
Starting off week 6 with a sweep, your winners, Onic Philippines!
Nagwawala na ang kanilang Sonics ngayon, Hans. Ramdam na ramdam natin ang suporta.
Kita kanina, no? Especially kay Kelra. May tanong
Oo
kaya para
naman.
kay Kelra.
Kelra, gusto namin itanong kasi nung nakaraan, sinabi mo na gusto niyong bawian lahat ng nanalo against you nung first half. Paano niyo pinaghantaan to yung Falcons specifically?